Welcome to this edition of Playfully Orange, our conversations about arts and culture here in Central Florida. And my guest today is Maria Fernanda Saavedra. Welcome.
Thank you, Terry. Good afternoon, everybody.
Maria, you are a dancer primarily, but before we get into the present, let's go back to you. Where'd you grow up and how did you get involved with dance?
I grew up in Bogota, Colombia, and I've been involved in dance like probably for more than 30 years. When I was a little kid, I knew I loved to dance because I always was dancing. Then I started going to school and, being part of different troops, dance troops in Colombia.
So did your parents arrange that for you, or were you begging them, can I go to a dance class?
No, my parents did not arrange that for me. That was after my probably 15 years old when I just got a little bit older. Then I start dancing on my own when I was out of my house.
Okay. What did your parents think about you heading off in like dance as almost a career?
Oh, what I think is I always thought dance and art in general saves lives and you know um, put us in a different level. So I always thought that that was something that I wanted to do my whole life.
All right. And okay, so you were taking dance classes in high school when you were that age. Then what? What was the next step?
I start being enrolled in different dance companies, so I learned the traditional, the a little bit, mixing styles like ballet and contemporary with folklore. So I went to different dance schools, and I also was part of, their our own foundation in Colombia. We were part of the 10 best companies, dance companies in Bogota, Colombia. Back in 2099, probably. And then I came here, but I was dancing in different theaters, in different activities, festivals in Colombia, and some places, around Colombia.
Okay. And what brought you to Central Florida?
I came as a refugee, or I requested political asylum because of the situation back there in Colombia. When I arrived, it was a little bit difficult. So I've been here for 22 years. So now I'm a citizen from the United States.
All right. So in Bogota, you were involved with dancing at festivals and competitions. What was it like when you got here?
It was a little bit difficult because the first couple of years was kind of like adaptation and assimilation of a new culture and the language. Obviously, I didn't know how to speak a word in English, so that was a learning process for most of this stuff. But one day I saw something in a newspaper, a guy asking for a Latina woman, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I began like getting more involved in whatever I love it, which is dance. And since then, I was teaching dance at UCF for 6 years. Then I had my own dance troupe, and kept uh, fostering my culture here in Central Florida for probably 16, 15 years ago. Since 15 years ago.
And how would you compare the artistic climate in Bogota with Orlando?
Um, Here, and that's something that I said aloud, is I appreciate what local artists do because we work twice. We work really hard because we have to pay mortgage and the things in life, and then with the reminding money and time that we can do or dance or artistic work. In Colombia, you practice 6 days a week, you work probably doing dance the whole day, but here it's a little bit different. We have to come and adapt and do other stuff as well. So I think it's a huge difference and opportunities as well. So
Well, it would be great if we could get to that point where we've got full time dancers, and there are, I mean, Orlando Ballet is full-time professionals.
Yeah, and there are a lot of opportunities here, like Fusion Fest, Immerse. All these festivals help, help us grow. And I know right now it's totally different compared with like 22 years ago, 16 years ago, 15 years ago. Now, artists coming to Central Florida have more opportunities, more resources, more information. So things have changed and have evolved positively, which I think is great.
So I know, like at Fusion Fest, you've seen other dancers, but what else in our community have you discovered that was new or exciting for you?
Well, basically, that people now are embracing diversity, like that you can go to places like JetBlue or organizations like JetBlue, and they can hire you because of your talent, your artistic dance, or your work. And I think that's huge because in our countries we see what we see is our culture, different dances, different subcultures. But here, with so much people around, we can learn from everybody, different stuff, different styles, different rhythms. At the end of the day, different cultures are involved here in Central Florida. I think that's great.
Can you think of a particular different culture that you've seen or encountered here that has been, wow, that's an interesting thing?
Yeah, absolutely. There are many, but I can say India. They have not just the beautiful costumes and movements and dances, but also spirituality. Like if you see people coming from India and from all, some parts of the Middle East in India, you can even Africa, you can feel the spirit, like even deeply. You see what I mean? So it's amazing, yeah.
And in your lifetime, what performance has moved you emotionally the most that you've experienced?
Oh wow, I can say a lot. One of the things that I was fearing more was dancing in front of Colombians, and when we do that, that moves me. Last year, I went to an event, and there were people from Colombia just coming to visit, like a tourist, and we were dancing for them, and they were so excited to see us over there. They were like jumping around, taking pictures with us. That was really amazing when your own culture, is pride of what you do. Obviously, always other cultures appreciate what we do. So, but coming from our own countries is a little bit, more. Um, uh, I don't know how to say, but it makes you feel proud.
Great. And if there were one thing that Central Florida doesn't have that you'd like to see it have, what would that be?
Um, well, what Central Florida doesn't have, Central Florida has a lot of stuff. Nah, I'm not sure about this. Because I have seen a lot of, a lot of great stuff. Even the festival has most of the stuff that we wish we can have here. Um, Probably more opportunities for a local artists, independent individual local artists, that we don't have a nonprofit, to back us up or something like that. So maybe more opportunities for us. That would be something.
And you work with a troupe of people, but you perform solo as well.
Yes, I do solos. I have like probably 10 minutes of, dancing 5 regions from my country and with different, props and stuff like that. But I also have the troupe. I can dance with only girls, with a couple. But I have done it solos like a lot because we have a lot of opportunities. Sometimes the other dancers cannot attend, but I don't want to miss or lose that opportunity. So I do solos.
All right. Well, Maria, we're glad that you're here and that you are exhibiting your talent all over the Central Florida area. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Terry, and for all the things that you do and you all do. They are really important for us as artists. So thank you so much for having me here today.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for watching this edition of Playfully Orange.